Hearts Standard. I'm Craig Cairns, that's Joel Sked, and we've just watched Hearts beat St Johnstone 2-1. And putting you on the spot a wee bit here, Joel, but did Hearts deserve that?
I'm going to say yes, because we scored 2 goals.
Just about. I think you're right. I think that was going to be my answer, because I think when there's a game like that where it's a bit scrappy and all that kind of stuff, it does come down to who takes their chances, doesn't it? Yeah,
absolutely. And Hearts didn't really test either Sinclair or especially Josh Ray when he came on. To kind of lie, we had Vargas went through late on and stung his wrist when it was 2-1, whereas Gordon came up with a couple of big saves either half. But I just thought it was a weird game. It was very open in the first half. While St Johnstone had the majority of the ball, I thought it kind of played into Hearts' hands. They were quite open. They wanted to play from the back. They were happy to leave space, which was good for Hearts. The issue was quite defensive. Were vulnerable defensively, especially Sidibe up against Kai Rolls. And then it wasn't until Critchley said this that St Johnstone scored, and that's kind of gave Hearts a shot in the arm. And then when Hearts scored, started to defend quite well and deal with just the basics of defending. So yeah, it was quite a hard game to analyse, because there's so many moving parts to it.
Yeah, and then just to follow on from what you've said there, Simo Valakari, the St Johnstone manager, said after the game that he felt the momentum swung in Hearts' favour after St Johnstone's goal, because his players had expelled so much energy at the start of that second half, getting that equaliser, and there was like a mental tiredness after they got that in Hearts. It was a bit of that, and a bit of Hearts deserve a lot of credit for taking the initiative, because they went at it right after. There was no sort of feeling sorry for themselves. Right away they were down St Johnstone's throats, looking for that looking for a winner, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we kind of talked about it after the full-time whistle, that when St Johnstone scored, both of us were kind of thinking, right, Hearts are in real danger here.
It'd been a long half until that point.
It'd been a very long half, and it was just such a poor, anemic performance between the start of the second half and St Johnstone scoring. Hearts kept giving the ball away, and you could hear the fans' frustration with Cammy Devlin took a lot of it, just with like kind of. He wasn't the only one, he was just the example, because he was the one that I can remember fans being frustrated with, but just gave the ball away needlessly. Just nothing was sticking up front. Obviously I've got a lot of sympathy for Shankland, big fan of Shankland, and I do think it's been difficult for him, but yeah, he was really poor today. But it was such a huge win, such character to come back from it, because you think when St Johnstone score, you're worried it's going to go opposite way and they will wilt. Mm-hmm. Hearts will wilt further and just go, right, St Johnstone's going to win. But the team showed character, they dug in, and it was just a massive 3 points, because that's all that mattered, was 3 points rather than any good football.
It's not something we've seen much of Hearts this season, when they've like a good response to adversity. We've seen earlier in the season they really struggled when going behind in games. Didn't score the first goal in a lot of games, doing that a lot now. But like Kilmarnock, it's the contrast to the Kilmarnock game. Equaliser, they allowed Kilmarnock to then go on and get a winner. They nipped it in the bud today, and they showed character to get that winner.
I mean, I think there's been moments of fragility. We've seen it all through the season, but I also think more recently there's been the team have shown they are made of kind of sterner stuff, and they are willing to like keep going and just find a way to win. Well, okay, didn't beat Ross County, but managed to score. That was a big goal, and just the way, just what happened afterwards. The late goal against Dinamo Minsk, the late goal in the derby as well. So the team have shown that they're not bottlers, or they have poor attitude. They've shown that they are capable of doing that. It's just there's just certain moments in games where just seem to lose their way. But thankfully, where it is against Kilmarnock, they weren't able to found it here at McDermott Park.
We'll go back to the first half quickly. I don't know how much there is to really analyse from the first half. It was a game of corners pretty much. I mean, you could probably say the first hour was just like a game of corners, and Hearts scored from one of them. I know it's an own goal. the Hearts fans were shouting shoot the next time Spittle went to take a corner. I think it maybe was on target, and we were having that sort of discussion about there's a grey area now, because if a player hits a shot on target and it's deflected in, it's a goal. So that would technically be Spittle's goal, but I think for all intents and purposes it's still an own goal. But that's not to take anything away from the delivery. What an absolutely beautiful delivery it was.
Yeah, it was brilliant, and it was very evident that Hearts had a plan from set pieces, and that was to put, well, it was Spittle or on the left or Penrith on the right, was to put balls on top of Ross Sinclair
exactly.
in the 6-yard box, because I think he is he's maybe struggled in that aspect this season. I'm not seeing enough of St Johnstone to say.
Well, the local journalist was saying to us that he thought that Sinclair would maybe have a tough afternoon.
Yeah, so they were just trying to put pressure on it. It was obviously good that the team had planned for it, and there were a couple of there was a few either side really good set pieces, none better than the Spittles. That I think it was very clear that Clark diverted that in via an own goal, but it was a cracking cross. And that's what that. And just to add on that, that's something that I know Hearts fans have been frustrated for a number of years, and especially the last couple of years, corners have been not the greatest. Whereas now you've got a few guys who you can kind of trust to put in a good set piece, even if it's a free kick.
But still, Hearts are one of the smaller teams in the league, yet they seem to be doing fairly well from set pieces. Start the second half, as we'd say, that's where Hearts had their period where, not that St Johnstone didn't have their spells in the first half, but I thought it was fairly even. The second half, St Johnstone really came out with intent, and Hearts just never really got going. Made the subs to try and get a little bit more control. I think Hearts did initially, but then within a few minutes they'd given away a penalty.
Yeah, I kind of wrote about just the defensive vulnerability. I mean, last season, the team, the football wasn't scintillating. There was moments in games where the team were good to watch, moments throughout the season, but never really kind of consistently. But one thing that was kind of characteristic of the team last season, in the main, was the defensive platform, and that allowed, that gave the team the possibility to then build on it in the second half and win a lot of games in the second half during a big spell of the success last season. Whereas this season, it's not individuals, although Kai Rose, I thought, was, for all the praise we've given him in the recent weeks, and deservedly so, I thought he was miles off it today, and he was probably the one who was most guilty of a kind of individual or not winning his duels. But collectively, there's just been a vulnerability about the team this season, and there was times where on the counter attack kind of struggled with the physicality and the pace of St Johnstone, or kind of just dealing with the basics. Thankfully, as I mentioned, that once Hearts got back in front, that kind of steadied themselves, but that was a wee bit of a concern, and so that's why I wasn't surprised that another cheap goal was given away.
I thought they managed the game really well after just to kind of like add to what you've said there. I thought Hearts managed the game really well at 2-1, especially in the closing stages and in injury time. The equaliser, it's another goal for Kenneth Vargas. It's the winner. The winner. It's a really important goal for Kenneth Vargas. We've been talking about him and his paucity in front of goal, but it's all about Beni Baningime really, and I think the story of the day was really Beni Baningime. He's gone out for 3 games. Hearts have won one of those games, and he's come back, and again, it just shows you how. I mean, I think Boateng does a very similar job, but there's just something extra that you get from Beni Baningime. There's an extra level of control you get in the game from Beni Baningime, and slightly uncharacteristic for him. And we've got the interview that will be going up in the coming days. He's a really good interview, to be fair, but it wasn't typical Beni for the winner, not the equaliser, the winner.
Yeah, exactly. I thought even before then, I think I'd mentioned to you, and I started writing it, that he was the best player in the park by miles. And over the times, there's been questions about Beni by some fans, and then you also look at the availability, and you're just thinking, that's a quality. Being available, being consistently available is a quality, and people.
It's one of the reasons Hearts got him, though, because of his sort of injury history, and
then that's where you look at that's where you can understand some kind of fans criticism. But I think when you take Beni out of the team, when you put him in the team, that's when you notice just how bloody hell
we're almost done.
And that's where you notice just how vital and just how good a player he is, because in possession you trust him. He's one of those guys that if you look up, he's probably available, and when you look up and past him that he is available, you know he's going to take care of the ball, and he's one of the players in the team that he just trusts. No matter if he's under pressure, if he's in tight areas, he's going to take the ball, he's going to take care of it. And then out of possession, I lost count of the amount of times he won the ball back, just digging in, getting his leg round to scoop it away, or just nipping in and then being wiped out by a St Johnstone player. And I would like to see him do more of that, and he does kind of talk about that in the interview, because I think he's a good dribbler of the ball, and he can evade players. He's got a great drop of the shoulder. I would just
he does it to get out of danger in his own half quite a lot, doesn't he?
That's why I'd really like to see him, especially if he's playing alongside Boateng. Boateng kind of just sits and allows him to just drive forward with the ball, because that has been, it's been a frustration during, especially last season, was sometimes he opts for the safe pass maybe too often, or he kind of hesitates and then just thinks about playing the forward pass, and then just keep it going sideways, which is a quality. But I just think he has got that quality to drive forward with the ball and kind of make stuff happen.
We haven't covered the penalty, but we haven't really seen it back to. Well, I certainly haven't. It looked like a bit of 50-50, like they were both at it, but I only saw it on one replay on a phone. So I've speak with authority.
I've only seen it on the phone as well, and it looked like it was a coming together, and both players were at it, and just the fact that Cameron's managed to get a wee yard and then go down has probably made the referee's decision. But positively, Neil Critchley came out and said he doesn't like VAR, which is another tick in the box of the Hearts head coach.
Exactly. We will leave it there.
Sorry. I just wanted, you mentioned Kenneth Vargas, and it was a massive goal for him. Again, he's someone else who's taken a bit of criticism. He's missed. He's been inconsistent at best this season. But I just think he is a player that I think you just need to be patient with, because we give him a long-term deal. He's still young, very young. I think there's so much potential there. I think there's so much talent there, and given the right environment, given the right coaching, I think Hearts have got a real star there, and someone that they can build on. And you look at who's going to be a success, but also the player trading that you look could make the team a bit of money. So yeah,
that inconsistency was even in evidence today, because he had that chance at 2-1 where he's through in the keeper and he could seal the game. He could
stop more time to think about it there.
Yeah, exactly. He could stop that from being a nervy end, but I mean, it's a decent save from the keeper, but yeah, as I say, it's that sort of inconsistency on view from Vargas during that game. We're going to leave it there. When we first set up, there was a lovely wee backdrop. There was the stadium, all the lights were still on, that went off just as before we hit record, and now all the lights are gone on, so it looks like we're just recording in the pitch black and at Halloween here. So we're going to get out of here. Please make sure you check everything out at heartstandard.co.uk. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that wee bell wherever it is. It's up there, down there, I don't know. That'll give you a wee notification every time we put a video out, and we will see you all soon.